I want to welcome you guys. You're here with Everything Waterfalls. Today we're just going to look at something real simple for you to know that's out there. It's not necessarily to show you how to hook this up. Your handyman or any of the electricians out there know exactly what to do here, but it's to show you that there's a lot of possibilities that you can do, because with waterfalls you're going to need some power for the pump, and you're going to want to be able to have different lights, maybe fog and what have you, to really make these things stand out nice. Now, to go through some of the basics, this here is your basic, real standard timer box. These are very cheap. I tend to use a couple of them just because they're seasonal. Some people might call them temporary. It's not temporary, it's seasonal, because we're not going to keep it up all year. You can go ahead and do a yearly one. I use the big electrical timers. I mount them inside. I go right up to my main fuse or circuit breaker box, come off with an alternative breaker box. That's where all my pond stuff is. But to go for what you guys want to do, this here's your timer. This here's a very cheap way to turn your lights and stuff on. I don't care for this idea. I tend to like to go with a PVC box. Then we can come right out of the box with a photocell. This here will turn your lights on and off. This here turns everything off. One thing is, everything should be connected to a GFI switch outlet. I remember when I first, one of the old timers, when I first started at a company, the first thing that he did was cut off the end, and he put his own GFI. He says you can never ever be too safe with electricity, especially out in the yard or anywhere. We worked with a lot of acid, a lot of water, and there was no GFI on all the plugs around the plants, so that's what we did for all our different power tools. So in other words, this is sort of a quickened setup. I don't want you to, it's just to show you that this is out there. You can take this womanized 2x4, put it into the ground. You want to have it come up, I don't know, it's probably code maybe 3 foot up. You mount your box here. Your photocell is going to come out the top. Your switch is going to be mounted in here. Then you're going to have this real cool box. This is to protect your circuit, your plugs and stuff, because believe me, you don't want water or moisture in there, because it's going to trip your GFI switch all the time. This gets mounted in real nice like that. And then on the bottom of this here is a way to come out with your plugs and hook it up. So back to the plug portion. On this one here, the bottom I'm going to have just for the pump. This here will be strictly timer and plug. The top one here will be a combination of the timer going to the photocell, going to the top part of this. This will control the lights. So in other words, when, like, say if you have your timer switched or ready for 5 o'clock in the morning, everything turns on. The photocell turns your lights and fog on. Once it gets light, this portion shuts off that's hooked up with the photocell. Your pump stay on all day. Then in the evening it continues. This senses the dark, makes a connection. Your lights turn off, fog turns on. Then whenever you have it, I usually set it off for 11 where everything's shut off. So with this unit, how you like to come with one outlet, kind of go with a little extension cord where I can hook a variety of things. One could be a fogger, one could be a light, another one could be a different light. So it's sort of like, I don't want a bunch of stuff coming out of here, I just want one source. Then I'll hide this underneath a rock or something where you're not going to notice, and then that's where I'll have a lot of stuff. So something quick and dirty, so you know that, hey, this is pretty simple to do. Again, there's different codes for your wire. Green is always ground, never anything more than ground. So when you look in a circuit, when you see green, it's grounded, and usually on your plug and stuff, you'll see a green. Your other side, which I don't have right here, is white. It's neutral. Everything is always neutral, is always white. Nothing, don't use another color, that's just code. So when you look in your box, everything is white, you know it's on the other side of your circuit. The other thing is black or red. Usually I use black for the pump side. The red, being hot, will come off my photocell and in here. So the top is pumps, the top is lighting, and that's pretty much very basic and simple. I don't want you guys to do it, but at least you know what you're looking for. Saying, hey, I can have an outlet for my pumps. I can also have an outlet for my different lighting, and I can control it to shut them off. Also, with shutting them off and having 6-7 hours of them off, you save not only on the electricity, but you save on some of the LED lights, because they're only rated for so many hours and stuff. You can cut that right down. So that's some of the cool things that you can do.